like you to share with us that process of translating the recommendations into something real, something tangible, something that would carry the agenda and the vision of the women who were in Nairobi into reality.
Okay, yes. Oh, I remember. I thought, oh gosh, my work is done. They've really done it. It's come together. And then they asked me to the planning team, and we expanded it actually during it wasn't just the 6 of us. We expanded the team also during the conference itself. And at the end, they said, please work with us to get this thing going. So, wow. Okay. So I sat down, I wrote a proposal to organize on all 3 regions. And I submitted the proposal to the donor that had been the most favorable so far. And they said, no. They said, regional organizations never work. That was what I got. So, I mean, that's a message I received. So I called and I said, please, can I please have a meeting with the decision maker in this foundation? So I went and I said, I bet there has not been women organizing at a regional level, and this is different. And so they said, okay, well, we'll just start with 1. We'll see how that goes. So at least we got to start. And I will say it was a little bit uneven, the planning. I mean, the planning and the organizing and the bringing together was a little bit uneven, partly dependent on funding, but still the process was very similar. We identified people in each country to take some kind of a lead and convene women in their country and do that same beginning analysis and preparation for the conference. So people didn't just come to the conference to attend something, they came prepared, every one of them. And so there were workshops or meetings at the national level in each country, and then finally a regional conference. And this, at which time the women at the conference then formally founded the organization, set their objectives, and elected their officers. So that was that phase of organization. And again, Florence, that's where I met you. I did not meet you in Nairobi because somehow I had missed you. Nobody told me about you, that you had done this wonderful work. No one told me, so I didn't know. But then when we had those regional workshops in Africa, I remember I met Florence in Uganda, in Jinja, and there she was with a baby, a tiny baby, just weeks old, right, Florence? Anyway, it was wonderful. And so that's basically, but it took 4 years to till all 3 organizations were actually up and running. So I don't know if you want to add something to that, Florence.
Perhaps what I could do is share a bit of what happened in Africa, because quite a number of women were at the conference in Nairobi. So the excitement was there. So on return, I remember the Nigerian women were really excited and they started organizing at the local level. In Uganda, we had women who had been in Nairobi. So they came, reported to those who did not go about what is happening, what happened not only at the conference, but what they had women in Asia were doing, women in Latin America were doing, women in other countries of Africa were doing, and how similar but also how different in terms of approach. So that was very interesting. Also beginning to think critically, if we wanted to make an impact, what are the priority issues and what are the main strategies we wanted to go forward with. So by the time we went to Zimbabwe, where the regional conference was, a lot of the women had been corresponding across countries, and in each country, they had their mini strategy in terms of what they wanted to get out of the regional conference. So that building the consensus at the regional level was not as difficult, because you remember Africa is such a big continent. Initially, we were worried that how do you bring so many people? It was a big conference, I remember, but really a happy one, a very substantive one. And I think the same thing happened in the other regions. And the objectives of the networks didn't vary so much, because we are working with the same framework of law. So you had a lot of emphasis on building capacities of the organizations that were working with the women, at a lot of focus on creating legal awareness, addressing violence against women, dealing with property rights and economic rights in different formulations across the regions.